The wildfires in California are now forcing the NFL to call an audible. They're moving the Vikings' Monday night playoff game now to Glendale, Arizona. Minnesota was scheduled to play the Los Angeles Rams in LA in the first round of the playoffs. The Rams Stadium is about 20 miles away from this fire in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood. But both teams have made the call that it just wasn't safe enough to play the game here. The issue has more to do with air quality, man. As you can see, the smoke is thick in the area. The different location doesn't change the fact that there is an exciting wild card game on Monday. Now, I spoke with CBS Los Angeles sports anchor Darren Haynes about the Vikings-Rams matchup, about his predictions for the game, and why a Viking is one of his favorite players in the NFL. Take a listen.
Let's talk about the players and the teams. So the Rams are among only two teams that beat the Vikings in the regular season. What do you think worked well for LA back in that, original October game? And what do you think they need to do they need to keep that game plan, or do you think they need to change it up?
Well, everything worked perfectly well during that week 8 matchup, because the Rams, just like the previous year, were struggling. Next thing you know, they beat the Vikings and they go on this long run where they start winning the games, and then their division. One of the things that they did really well was get some of their guys back. Puka Nacua is one of those guys who was injured. Cooper Kupp, who was injured. That was like the first game where Matthew Stafford really had all of his weapons. So that you kind of want to follow that same philosophy, try to get your guys to your main key weapons on offense, and then Kyren Williams. And then the defense has always been pretty decent as well. The thing what I look at in regards to like the Vikings went on one heck of a run. But I noticed that they were literally one of the best in the league in stopping the run early in the season, and that has kind of declined in a little bit. And you have a guy like Kyren Williams for the Rams, who I think almost 100 yards against the Vikings in their previous matchup. He's balling out. And I know you guys with the Vikings in regards to playing the Lions, Gibbs had one hell of a game. So you guys got to figure out some way to turn things around, because I know Sean McVay and the Rams are looking to take advantage of you guys through the running game. Because if you can get the running game going, the passing game's opens up the passing game, and that's what you guys don't want.
Speaking of Sean McVay, I mean, Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell is part of Sean McVay's expansive coaching tree. So how much does that factor into each coach's game plan, with both coaches having kind of somewhat of a similar mindset?
Yeah, that's a great question. I remember during the first matchup, those two pregame were getting together, taking pictures with each other's kids and family and stuff like that. I was like, these guys are really good friends. They share similar philosophies, but when you have two different coaches that are on different teams, they start doing things their own way. So some of that terminology will change a little bit and stuff like that. So I don't think it's going to be a huge factor, the fact that these guys were both on the same coaching staff. They probably have similar play calls, but Sean McVay may say blue YZ banana left, and then O'Connell may say green yellow apple right. Who knows? So that terminology changes. So I don't think that plays a huge part of it. I know Sean McVay this week mentioned that's not going to play a huge part of it in regards to like their terminology, how well they know each other, but they do know each other very well. So it's going to be an interesting chess match.
And there are a lot of newcomers, that are here. What do you think makes rookie linebacker Jared Verse so dominant right now? And how worried should the Vikings be about him?
Well, this is the part where the Vikings need to be very worried, and Jared Verse is a big reason, but we're going to look at the entire defense. The good thing about the Rams is when they're in the red zone, or should I say the opposing team, let's say the Vikings are in the red zone, the Rams are one of the best in the league. So you can move down the field all you want, but once you get past that 20-yard line, it's going to be very hard for you guys to actually get into the end zone. And I think it's Jared Verse is one part of that, but also just the overall defense. If you can't score, you can't win. And if you're only scoring 3 points, especially in a big playoff game, yes, it can help you win some games. But you got to find that end zone, especially when you have that opportunity. And the Rams are one of the best in the red zone on defense. So good luck to Sam Darnold, former USC guy out here.
Okay, well, what strengths do you see in the Vikings that could be problems for the Rams here?
I think with the Vikings, they're coming off a really tough loss against the Lions. I think a lot of people expected them to play a lot better. I think could be this energy in them to make sure they don't overlook a Rams team, despite them playing in at SoFi and they supposedly are the higher seed. They're a 14-win team. And I think that Sam Darnold and the guys he has, I mean, you guys have Justin Jefferson for God's sake. When you have weapons like that, you can make some things happen. That was Darnold's worst game of this entire season against the Lions, and I'm sure he is very pumped up to make sure he proves those doubters wrong when they take on the Rams. And so for him to play a little bit better will be absolutely key, and I'm sure he's focused on doing that.
Do you think that could be a weakness in Minnesota that maybe you think the Rams will exploit, or are there other weaknesses you think the Rams could take advantage of?
Maria, that's probably the best question you had out of all of this, because Sam Darnold he's been playing very, very well, except for this Lions game. Now that Lions game is on tape, or for not anymore. It's not on tape anymore. What is it on a hard drive? So now I guarantee right now, Sean McVay, all those guys, they're all out of their office, the defensive guys, they are press and play, rewinding, press and play, rewinding, and seeing all the ways the Lions were able to take advantage of Sam Darnold. So don't be surprised if you see some of the things that the Lions did to shut the Vikings down happen on Monday night.
Okay, yeah, we'll watch for it. I have some fun questions for you.
Okay, all right.
Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are one of the top receiver duos in the league. However, the same can be said for Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So if you were a coach in the NFL right now, which duo would you take and why?
That's a great question. I would take Justin Jefferson in a heartbeat, because if I had to compare like Justin Jefferson and Puka Nacua, which I say are the top receivers for both teams this year, man, Justin Jefferson is a beast. Because Puka Nacua, great player, hard player. He'll score his touchdown, go back. Justin Jefferson will score a touchdown. Next thing you know, he's doing it gritty in front of you, mentally getting in your head, and you're like, oh no, what the heck am I going to do? Because this guy's totally taking advantage of me mentally and physically on the football field. But Cooper Kupp, he hasn't been putting up the same numbers lately. Man, the people in LA are going to hate me. Why'd you put? It's not a fun question.
Fun for me.
I guess I got to go the Justin Jefferson route and those weapons, because Justin Jefferson's a beast, man.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, this might be another divisive question, I guess, depending on how you answer it. What's your prediction for Monday?
I really believe, because of the Rams, they have all their weapons, and the Vikings are coming off a loss to the Lions, where a lot of teams lose, matter of fact, after they play the Lions. So like back-to-back losses, which I think that's what happened when the Rams beat the Vikings, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, wow. Look at the history coming there. So I think the Rams are going to win this game. If I had to get a prediction and score, they've been putting up numbers. I'm definitely going to put up 30 for the Rams. So I'm going to go like 30-24. Rams win.
High-scoring game. Yeah. All right. Anything else you wanted to add?
I think it's absolutely, personally for me, the fact that the Vikings are a 14-win team and they have to play a wild card game on the road just blows my mind. It makes me like want to reevaluate. Yes, you win your division, but if you win 14 wins, man, you should be hosting a playoff game at the very beginning. So great season for the Vikings. It's just unfortunate that you have to play a road game when you're literally the second best team in the NFC, if not the league.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to Monday's game and hoping that everything goes well, that you and your family and your coworkers stay safe in Los Angeles. Thanks so much for chatting with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And that game is still on for Monday in Glendale, Arizona. That is at 7 p.m.